Let me tell you something. Life doesn't give you what you want. It gives you what you earn. Most people wait for the perfect moment, the perfect mood, the perfect day. But success doesn't come to those who wait. It comes to those who act, daily, deliberately, and with discipline. You don't drift to greatness. You drive yourself there. And the price, it's not comfort, it's consistency. Every single day, you get a choice. You can feed your dreams or feed your doubts, but you can't feed both. The question is, what are you choosing today? Because the truth is, your habits write your future. Your words shape your world. Your thoughts are planting seeds, and your actions are watering them. So let me ask you, what are you growing? Are you growing excuses, or are you growing results? Now listen, you don't have to be extreme. You just have to be consistent. A little reading, a little action, a little effort, every day. Success isn't some explosion of luck. It's the quiet compounding of small wins. You want a better life? Then raise your standard, not just your goals. Goals are dreams with deadlines, but standards are your minimums. And when you raise your minimums, your life must follow. Discipline weighs ounces. Regret weighs tons. And if you're serious, truly serious, about changing your life, then stop negotiating with your potential. Commit, act, repeat. Day by day, brick by brick, you build the person you were meant to become. And one day you'll look back and the pain, the pressure, the late nights, it'll all make sense. Because you didn't just survive, you transformed. And that's the power of deciding, not once, but every single day to show up, absolutely. Below is a motivational speech in the style of Jim Rohn, known for his wisdom-rich, calm yet impactful delivery, tailored to the title. Act this every day and change your life. Denzel Washington motivational speech. Let me tell you something. Life doesn't give you what you want. It gives you what you earn. Most people wait for the perfect moment, the perfect mood, the perfect day. But success doesn't come to those who wait. It comes to those who act, daily, deliberately, and with discipline. You don't drift to greatness. You drive yourself there. And the price? It's not comfort, it's consistency. Every single day you get a choice. You can feed your dreams or feed your doubts, but you can't feed both. The question is, what are you choosing today? Because the truth is, your habits write your future, your words shape your world. Your thoughts are planting seeds, and your actions are watering them. So let me ask you, what are you growing? Are you growing excuses, or are you growing results? Now listen, you don't have to be extreme. You just have to be consistent. A little reading, a little action, a little effort. Every day, success isn't some explosion of luck. It's the quiet compounding of small wins. You want a better life? Then raise your standard, not just your goals. Goals are dreams with deadlines, but standards are your minimums. And when you raise your minimums, your life must follow. Discipline weighs ounces, regret weighs tons, and if you're serious, truly serious about changing your life, then stop negotiating with your potential. Commit. Act, repeat, day by day, brick by brick, you build the person you were meant to become, and one day you'll look back in the pain, the pressure, the late nights, it'll all make sense. Because you didn't just survive, you transformed. And that's the power of deciding, not once, but every single day to show up. Key 10 key points of the speech. 1. Life gives you what you earn, not what you wish for. 2. Trick requires intention, not luck. 3. Daily discipline leads to massive long-term change. 4. You choose every day to feed your doubts or your dreams. 5. Your habits and thoughts shape your destiny. Success is built on consistent small actions, not one big leap. 7. Raise your standards. Your life will rise to meet them. 8. Discipline is the bridge between goals and achievement. 9. Commitment, not motivation, creates lasting change. 10. Transformation is possible when you show up every day. Would you like this turned into a video script format or with added pauses for voiceover delivery? Life gives you what you earn, not what you wish for. Wishing is easy. Everyone does it. We wish for success, for health, for happiness. We hope the day goes well. We hope things just work out. But hope is not a strategy, and wishing is not a plan. Life responds to effort, not emotion. You can dream all day, but dreams without work are just illusions. The world doesn't reward intentions. It rewards execution. It's not what you think about that changes your life. It's what you do. Because effort is the price of entry. Discipline is the currency of success. You want respect? Earn it? You want results? Work for them. You want change? Then start changing. The truth is, life doesn't owe you anything. It doesn't hand out prizes for participation, but it will reward those who show up every day with effort, with commitment, with purpose. When you put in the work, life notices. When you stay late, when you learn more, when you stretch beyond your comfort zone, life starts to respond. You build value by becoming valuable. You grow by growing through what you face. It's not about what you deserve. It's about what you've earned. And the earning is done when nobody's watching, in the early mornings, in the late nights, in the quiet moments when quitting seems easier, but you choose to keep going. That's the gap between the life you wish for and the life you live. That's where transformation happens. Between wanting and working, between dreaming and doing, between hoping and hustling. So if you want more, be more, not someday, today. Because life isn't keeping score of your thoughts. It's measuring your effort. And every action is a vote for the person you're becoming. Greatness requires intention, not luck. It doesn't just happen. It's not a lightning strike. It's not the flip of a coin or the roll of the dice. Greatness is built, planned, pursued, on purpose. Every great person you admire didn't get there by accident. They didn't stumble into success. They made a decision, then they backed it with action. Luck might open the door once, but intention keeps it open. Luck might get you noticed, but it's your effort that makes you unforgettable. You see, hoping to succeed is not the same as preparing to succeed. Waiting for the perfect moment is just a clever way to delay growth. And wishing for more without doing more is just another form of dreaming with your eyes closed. Intention means you wake up with a purpose. You show up with a plan. You take steps, even when no one's watching. It means your actions are aligned with your goals. It means you're not swayed by distraction or detoured by doubt, because you know what you're after and why. Greatness doesn't belong to the lucky. It belongs to the focused, to the deliberate, to the consistent. You don't need a miracle. You need a mission. You don't need chance. You need clarity. Every win, every breakthrough, every level. It begins with a decision to move forward on purpose. Without intention, talent fades. Without intention, time is wasted. Without intention, even the strongest potential goes nowhere. But with intention, everything changes. Every hour has weight. Every day has direction. Every step has meaning. So the question is, are you living by design or by default? Are you chasing greatness or just waiting for it to show up? Because greatness doesn't come to the passive. It comes to those who prepare, pursue, and persist. With purpose, daily discipline leads to massive long-term change. Not overnight, not in a week, but over time, consistently, quietly, powerfully. Discipline doesn't shout. It whispers. It says, do it again. It says, show up even when you don't feel like it. That one small task you choose to do today, it matters. That early morning when you get up while the world sleeps, it matters. That extra rep, that extra page, that extra effort, it matters. Discipline is not about perfection. It's about commitment, not to doing everything, but to doing the right things again and again. The truth is, big results don't come from big actions. They come from small actions repeated without excuse. You don't need to be extreme. You need to be consistent. Every time you choose discipline over distraction, you cast a vote for your future self. And over time, those votes add up. They compound. They multiply. Most people quit because they expect fast progress. But the real power lies in patience, in trusting the process, in falling in love with the work, not just the result. Discipline is doing what's necessary long after the mood to do it is gone. It's resisting comfort today to create freedom tomorrow. It's waking up with purpose even when you're tired. It's sticking to the plan, even when motivation fades. Sand. Every disciplined day is a brick. And one by one, you build the life you want. You build character. You build strength. You build momentum. There will be days when it feels pointless. Days when progress feels invisible. But those are the days that count the most. Because while others give in, you stay in. While others wait, you work. While others hope, you build. Discipline transforms ordinary actions into extraordinary results. And the person who stays consistent, even when it's boring, becomes unstoppable. You choose every day to feed your doubts or your dreams. That's the quiet decision that shapes everything. Before the world sees your success, it begins in your mind. Each morning, you wake up. You're standing at a crossroads. One path leads to fear. The other leads to belief. And the direction you take depends on what you choose to feed. You can feed your doubts. You can replay the negative voices. You can focus on every reason why it might not work. You can dwell on your past mistakes, your insecurities, your fears, or you can feed your dreams. You can speak life into your goals. You can remind yourself why you started. You can focus on what's possible instead of what's painful. What you feed grows. What you starve shrinks. If you keep feeding your doubts, they become stronger. They get louder. They begin to control your choices. They convince you to play small, to wait, to settle. But if you feed your dreams with time, with effort, with belief, they begin to grow. They begin to stretch. They begin to push you into action. Your dreams don't need perfection. They need attention. A little courage, repeated. Every great achievement started with someone who chose to believe when it was easier to doubt. Someone who chose progress over fear, vision over hesitation. So the question is simple. What are you feeding today? Are you nurturing what inspires you, or what paralyzes you, or what paralyzes you? You can't grow your dreams while watering your doubts. One will thrive, the other will die. This is your life. This is your time. And every choice you make is a vote for the future you want or the fear you want to escape. Feed your dreams, even when they seem far away. Even when no one else believes, because the only thing more dangerous than failing is never trying at all. Your habits and thoughts shape your destiny, not your intentions, not your wishes, not the things you say when you're feeling inspired. What truly shapes your future is what you do and what you believe, day in and day out. Every habit you repeat is a message to your future. It says who I am. It says this is where I'm going. Your habits build the structure of your life. They're the foundation. They're the routine that either builds you up or slowly breaks you down. And your thoughts? They are the architects. They decide what's possible. They decide what's worth chasing. They decide whether you give up or go again. When your thoughts are filled with doubt, your actions shrink. You second guess. You hesitate. You play it safe. But when your thoughts are fueled by belief, belief in growth, belief in effort, belief in progress, you act with courage. You take the step. You take the risk. You stay in motion. And when you combine that belief with powerful habits, that's when the transformation begins. That's when your life starts to shift. Not because of luck, not because of some sudden breakthrough, but because you change what you repeated. You see, you don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. And your systems are built by your habits and powered by your thoughts. So if you want to change your future, change your patterns, change your morning, change how you speak to yourself, change what you do when no one's watching. Every thought is a seed. Every habit is a root, is a seed. Every habit is a root, and together they grow the tree of your destiny. You are not your past, you are your potential, and potential becomes power only when it's practiced. So guard your thoughts, shape your habit, because in the end, it's not fate that writes your story. It's the repetition of what you think and what you do every single day. That success is built on consistent small actions, not one big leap. It's not a sudden explosion. It's not one lucky break. It's not a single day that changes everything. It's the quiet things, the repeated things, the things you do when no one's clapping, no one's watching, and no one's cheering you on. One step today, another tomorrow, each one barely noticeable by itself. But together, they create momentum. They create change. We live in a world that celebrates the big moments, the award, the breakthrough, the grand success story. But what people don't see is the grind that came before it, the early mornings, the late nights, the sacrifice. The patience. Success is built when you show up on the days you feel uninspired. When you do the work even when you're tired. When you stay focused while others are distracted. Small doesn't mean weak. Small means sustainable. And what you can sustain, you can scale. That one page you read. That healthy meal you choose. That phone call you make. That hour you practice. They may not seem like much, but over time they build a life. A mindset. A future. You don't need a perfect plan. You need daily movement. You don't need to do everything. You just need to do something consistently. Because every action, no matter how small, casts a vote for the person you're becoming. And the more votes you cast, the stronger that identity becomes. Success doesn't show up all at once. It sneaks in. It grows. It gathers strength with every small decision you make to keep going. One choice. One action. One brick at a time. And eventually those bricks become a wall, a foundation, a legacy. So don't wait for the leap. Start with the step and keep stepping. Because in the end, success isn't built in a moment. It's built daily, with intention, with effort, and with the courage to keep showing up. Raise your standards. Your life will rise to meet them. That's the secret most people overlook. Your life doesn't rise to your goals. It rises to your standards. A goal is what you hope to achieve. A standard is what you refuse to settle below. When you raise your standards, you change the level of what's acceptable. You no longer tolerate excuses. You no longer entertain distractions. You no longer allow comfort to hold you back. You set a new baseline. Hakebo. You decide, this is who I am now, and everything in your life begins to shift. Because people don't get what they want. They get what they're willing to demand from themselves. And when you demand more, life gives you more. Not immediately, not without resistance, but eventually, consistently. Your standards shape your discipline, your attitude, your results. If you're tired of feeling stuck, don't just change your actions. Change your expectations. Change what you believe is normal for you. Stop settling for average effort. Stop settling for weak routines. Whoa. Stop settling for being around people who don't inspire growth. When you raise your standards, you naturally start making different choices, better choices, choices that align with the life you actually want. You stop chasing motivation and start leaning into commitment. You stop relying on chance and start building systems. Life meets you at the level you insist upon. If your standard is excellence, you'll push until you hit it. If your standard is growth, you'll keep learning, keep evolving. If your standard is ownership, you'll stop blaming and start building. But if your standard is just to getting by, if your standard isn't good enough, then don't be surprised when that's all life hands you. You rise when your minimums rise. You grow when your excuses die. You transform when you stop settling. It all begins with a simple decision: to no longer accept less than your best, to no longer accept average from yourself. Raise the bar, even if it's uncomfortable, even if no one else does it. Because once you raise your standards, your life has no choice but to rise with them. Discipline is the bridge between goals and achievement. It's the missing link between what you want and what you get. Everyone has goals. Everyone has dreams. But only the discipline turn those dreams into results. Discipline is what shows up when motivation disappears. It's what keeps you moving when the excitement fades. It's what separates the talkers from the doers. You can write your goals on paper. You can visualize them every morning. But until you build the discipline to act, they stay out of reach. Discipline is the daily decision to choose growth over comfort, to wake up early, to put in the reps, to finish what you started. It's doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it, especially when you don't feel like it, because that's where strength is built. Not in the easy moments, but in the moments where you choose the hard path anyway. Discipline doesn't always look exciting. It looks like repetition, like saying no to distractions, like showing up tired and still giving your best. But every act of discipline is a deposit in your future. A vote for your potential, a signal to the world that you're serious about who you're becoming. Without discipline, goals remain wishes, plans stay unfinished. Progress is temporary, but with discipline, everything changes. You begin to trust yourself. You begin to build momentum. You begin to see results, slow at first, then suddenly. And those small wins, they build confidence. They fuel consistency. They make the hard days worth it. Discipline turns effort into excellence. It makes the impossible possible, not by chance, but by choice. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be disciplined. One step, one habit, one promise kept every single day. Because the bridge between goals and achievement isn't built overnight. It's built with every consistent action. Every time you say, I'll do it, and then follow through. And when you cross that bridge, that's where greatness lives. Commitment, not motivation, creates lasting change. Motivation is a spark, quick, loud, and often gone before you even start. It feels good. It inspires action. But it fades. It shows up in moments, in videos, in speeches, but not always in real life. Not when you're tired, not when things get hard,